On today's wisdom, we will be speaking about nicotine addiction. That's such an important topic, and I'll tell you why in a moment. We'll be right back. So stay tuned. And we're back. And thank you so much for joining me. My name is Deanne Oja. I actually help people get over these addictions. And yes, I do. We have that in my using hypnotherapy and timeline therapy and so forth. There's a way of doing this without hurting yourself or harming yourself. But we'll talk more about that. But right now, I just want to let you know that there is hope in this addiction. So, for those who don't know me, again, my name is Deanne, and I love to work with people to help them get through their triggers and their traumas. And there are a lot of funds to get them to where they need to be because they deserve. They deserve to be where they need to be. And we can have discussions about that. But let's talk about this topic today: nicotine, cigarettes. Is it good for you? No, it's not good for you. So, what is cigarettes? It's a stimulant, it's a drug, it suppresses. Now, I can tell you something for sure. Did you know, and this statistic may have changed, but did you know that in cigarette, the tobacco leaves are soaked in a high concentration, how high, I don't know, you can figure that out, of sugar. So what you're going through is don't get me wrong, there's nicotine in there as well. There's a mixture, but it's a very high concentration, about 28% when I last looked. And what it does, it spikes. So when you have a cigarette, with your coffee or when you wake up in the morning, that's why you don't eat. You just grab and go. I know I was working with a girl, she did not eat. She was very slim, you know, took pride into how she looked, but she was a coffeeholic and she was a nicotineaholic. So she did not eat. And basically, what she was doing, she was damaging herself. I kid you not to mention our breath doesn't smell very well. I deal with many of them that I worked with that you could not have a face to face conversation with someone. Now, for somebody like myself, I am allergic to nicotine. I am allergic to cigarettes. Literally, my throat would swell up. Literally, I would get very sick, bronchitis, pneumonia, because of somebody else's habit. Most people do not know this. It stays in their hair, it stays on their body, on their clothes, especially on leather. Oh, yes, there was one guy I would know when he walked into the office. I didn't have to see him, but I can smell him. My husband, he would work in the hospitality business, and at that time, he would come back in his hair and his clothes and everything, and I would be sick for a long time. So we have to be mindful of who we hang around with and who are very sensitive to this. Did you know that this is a $1 billion industry and beyond? Because another billion can go in billions, the double digits. We have to be mindful of this, how this is affect us. Emphysema, secondhand smoke. You have children. When you're smoking and there's children around, we have to be careful. Brain damage. Even when the baby is a fetus, even if you're in a room with somebody, you have to respect and be mindful. Is this irreversible? Oh, yes, as we know, you can go cold turkey, but for some people, it's not for everyone. But I'll tell you, I applaud everyone who has taken that step to change and flip this addiction. There's another way of doing it, like I said before in my introduction. We literally can replace that addiction with something else. So basically, what's that mean? We associate with something just as disgusting. So whenever you think about it, you change your mind. Trust me. And it works. Trust me, it works. I know. I did it for peanuts and the shells. It used to get me sick all the time, the dust from the shells. So I replaced it. I don't really see it, so it doesn't really do any triggers for me because I don't really eat it. I see it and it doesn't bother me anymore. But in terms of the nicotine, it suppresses, just like alcohol, just like food. So I want to say to you, what are you going to do today to change that? When you look at some people in their lungs when they die and they do an autopsy, it looks like tar inside of you. And really and truly, there's nothing to cigarettes, to tell you the truth. It's just a habit, not a healthy one. Some people will get upset seeing this and say, okay, why are you degrading it? Why are you talking like this? It's because for people like myself, I get sick. I get sick. My immune system gets weaker because of somebody else's habit, like I mentioned. When you want to have a relationship with someone and they smoke, there's nothing in this world, regardless of what they do, whether they shower, they brush their teeth, and so forth, it still lingers on through their pores. They have a smell about them. Now, I'm not saying this is for everyone, but we have what we call chain smokers. Their lips start to change colors. It can affect their organs, as we know. So I want to say to you, if you really want to make a change, take the first step and commit into it. Some of you have been smoking ever since you were young, under 10 maybe, and you've gotten so used to it, it comes like a lifestyle. But I will tell you, there's more to this. You're not here on this earth to just not take care of yourself. You're not here on this earth to take yourself to the grave a little bit earlier. If you really love your family, and I'm not saying it not, and your children or child ask you to kick the habit, do your best to kick the habit. Now, is vaping any better? Well, apparently, let me see, within 5 minutes, when you compare to a cigarette, maybe 1/3 to a quarter of the nicotine you get from one cigarette within 5 minutes. Vaping is no better than smoking, or even the patch for that matter. You got to be very careful what you put in your body. Some may say, just shut up. Why are you talking about this? I don't want to hear this. Well, let's put it this way. If you're looking at it or you saw part of it, maybe something will trigger in your mind. Maybe something would associate. And maybe this is what you're supposed to see, to have a change in your lifestyle. A change in your lifestyle is a change in your personal life and a change in your family life and a change whereby you can actually prolong your life to spend it with your family. Are they not worth it? Are you not worth it? So I'm not here to convince anyone of doing this. I'm just here to let you know how emotions can draw addictions by suppressing. People get stressed out. They believe it's a break. Listen, there's nothing in cigarette to tell you the truth. People will go out in the freezing cold. I've seen this. My neighbor used to do this. Freezing, 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 freezing cold. Just because. So I just want to say to you, stop for a moment. Think about why you're here. Why you're on earth. Think about your family. Think about your loved ones. Think about your nieces, your nephews. Think about how you want to be there for their wedding. Just think and make a change one day at a time. I'm just asking you, just one day at a time. And I'd love to hear your story. How, if this had an impact on you, awesome. Share it with someone. Give us a comment, a love, a like. This could be the beginning of the rest of your life. So on that note, I want to say thank you. And this is Deanne saying thank you so much for just always joining me and, hearing me, putting up with me, because I love talking about these things and making a difference in your life and your family's life. So next time on today's wisdom, join us and have a great, great day.